Now we will go to, we will welcome Iara Beatriz Falcade Pereira from Universidade Federal de Paraná, Brazil, with her talk titled "Experiences Planning Agroecological Communities in the Landless Rural Workers Movements, Movimento Sem Terra, Castro, Paraná." So let's give her a round of applause. Yay!
Yay! Hey, Iara!
Hello. So I'm Iara. I will present the experience planning agroecological communities in the landless rural workers. The name complete of our movement is Movimento dos Trabalhadores Rurais Sem Terra, MST. I will speak this way. I'm Brazilian. I live in the state of Paraná, in the city of Curitiba and Castro. I live in two cities, which is in the southern region of Brazil. I'm currently a master's student in geography at the Federal University of Paraná, and I have a bachelor's degree in architecture and urbanism from the same institution. I graduated in 2019 through a public school affirmative action program dedicated to low-income and socially underrepresented students. Next to the slide, I selected some photos of our movement. This is the national meeting of landless women in 2020 in the capital of Brazil. And I select the photos to the people see the diversity of our people, our movement. Next. It's a march that it's something that we do a lot to pressure the government and another things for our rights. Next. Next to stop, please. So I was talking. The public higher education in Brazil is dominated by higher class and most often white students. To address this racial and class inequality, social movements in Brazil demanded a quota system, and now, as an awardee, my bachelor's degree comes from a vacancy in the social program for access to free higher education in Brazil. And that's why now I also work and I belong to the landless rural workers, and I study so that I can work in favor of our social movements' rightful demands. The MST is one of the largest peasant social movements in the world that fights for land access, the right to plant and live, the right to reproduce life, and the right to fight for a popular and agroecological agrarian reform project in Brazil. It emerged in the 80s, in 84, and it has grown more. It has gained more and more strength, despite the government's own laws against the movement. My family's history is intertwined with MST. We are of peasant origin. My parents came to the big city to work and study, but since their adolescence, they also built this social movement in Brazil. I have had a long relationship with the MST, for which now I serve as a militant technician since 2019. And I will speak a little of a little of the MST. We occupy unproductive lands that belong to the union and have been invaded by agribusiness, lands that are in debt with the union and are point of territorial conflicts. Our utmost intention is that the multiple families that are expropriated can find land to grow food and survive, but also to live and to exist. Our work is so that our families can plant and have a dignified life. These families are landless due to the unfair results of colonial and enslaving process that Brazil carries through its history. So we are a movement that tries to promote social justice in Brazil. Since 2019, when I graduated, and my current master's degree is also about this subject, I have been working with agroecological community planning here in Paraná. I do not work alone. I work on a project that emerged from a partnership between the MST, my university, as well as a laboratory at the State University of Ponta Grossa, all institutions from Paraná State. This extension project is called Community Mapping in Experiences of Resistances. We began planning the subdivision, parceling of reclaimed lands into areas for productive lands, areas for housing with productive backyards, gardens, areas for the community, and area for forestry. All the actions in the territory in your design are to promote environmental preservation. In sum, the partnership between the MST and Paraná universities in the city of Castro here in Paraná State work in two agroecological communities that are in these pictures. The names of them are from people who are historical references for us. The Maria Rosa do Contestado Agroecological Community in the right of the picture started in 2015, and a part of their families went to the Padre Roque Zimmermann Agroecological Community in 2018. That is the left picture. However, despite being in two different territories, they are sister communities and maintain their shared cooperative in the territory of the Maria Rosa community. The cooperative, it's called COFRAN, that is Maria Rosa do Contestado Agrarian Reform Cooperative. The two communities, they were parceled following agroecological principles and principles of care. So there is a concern for gender, children, sexuality, and all the age categories when we parceled the areas in both communities. The main difference is in the number of families on the areas for housing with productive backyards. The Padre Roque community was divided into 40 housing units with productive backyards, and the Maria Rosa community was divided into 63 plots, where 62 these plots are for families, and they have productive backyards. And one of these plots is divided in more 20 plots to workers who are going to settle in this community, which dedicated for workers who do not directly work with the land, but want to live in the farmland and who strongly work for the movement. But Maria Rosa who is my community now, approved an area with a productive backyard for me for my agroecological construction experiments that I will start in this year when finish my master. These two communities, they already live with agroecological when we began our parcelling project, because was principal to be agroecological communities since the start of them. These two communities started your agroecological cooperative in 2016, which is officialized and certified, I don't know, here in Brazil, and they have 100% regularized organic production. The land around the two communities are just agribusiness and are a big point of conflict. In this planning, we are based, can pass the slide to next. In the left is the community area from Padre Roque, and here in the right we can see the difference and with the 63 plots that I said in yellow. In this planning, we are based on other experiences of the MST and on the current national project. So these local experiences in Castro comes as a form of resistance following the principles of the national MST, not only the local. So because we are like a tree, we have a national movement, and we organize ourselves between the territories. But we have a big project for the country that I will speak, so that families can live in Castro in these lands based on this idea, this project of next, please. Next, I am finishing the project of a land reform that is popular and agroecological, which is what the MST stands for. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Iara, for such an inspiring talk. Yeah, that's like links the social aspect and the human aspect with the land. So thank you so much for sharing with us your experience in Brazil.